Morning Polygon. You are listening to episode 2 of Breakfastnauts for Friday the 26th of July. Yeah, that'll be the date. My name is Paddy, as ever. Joining me today is not Shaun, because Shaun is looking after his family.
That's my name, not Shaun.
No, Shaun. It's one word. There's maybe a hyphen in the middle. Not Shaun, because Shaun is looking after his family. So instead, I've got my Twin Humanities co-host, regular man, Mr. CJ, Coffee Jesus. Hello.
Hello, people of Earth. Hello.
Among other places.
Hello, computer. Hello.
My baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
So then, this Friday thing, this thing that's in the future, which if you're listening to it is now.
Yeah, no, this is live. What are you talking about? This is live on Friday.
Mm.
Yeah.
So Breakfastnauts.
We wouldn't possibly record this the night before. Never.
Breakfastnauts. It goes out over breakfast. It's a wonderful show of news and laughter to set you up for the day.
Correct. And to begin, why don't you take the floor with that thing you just told me?
Hey? I'll give you the debut question.
Yeah, fire. Go.
This is the thought for the day, not the royal baby, not its name, or the Conservative government in England trying to ban porn.
No.
But if you could control bees, what would you do?
See, now that's a very interesting question for me, because as a fan of the game Metal Gear Solid, in part 3 there is a man called the Pain. So it links very nicely back to games, very nicely. There's one of the bad guys who's called the Pain, and the Pain, he's covered in bees. That's his thing. He's covered from head to toe. He's got bees on his skin. He's constantly being sort of stabbed by them. He's called the Pain because he's always, it hurts.
He's not gone to a shop that's perhaps called Clothing Bees, and perhaps there's nobody else in there, but he walks in there and he'll go, how much are you charging today for bee trousers? Then, do you? So it's wonderful that you've joined us, but we do have the matching jacket for that. Do you have a hat? Oh, we do. A positive balaclava for the winter. A balaclava of bees. It's like you're scooping out the yogurt of my dreams and flinging it at my life.
A balaclava?
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, you missed that one. It says, we also supply a selection of man bras. What cup size are you? Why, I'm B. I have something for you, sir. And what he does is he can kind of sort of shoot bees out of his mouth almost. Mm-hmm. He can literally spit bees at people. Now, when you say control bees, like, could I get them to sit on me and not stab me? Like, would they not sting?
I don't know. I mean, if you were controlling the power of the bee, I'd imagine you would be the bee equivalent of Aquaman to fish.
I guess. Okay, so here's what I would do if I had the power to control bees. Okay, what I would do is buy a lot of tiny spy cameras. Mm-hmm. Teeny tiny ones. And I would order the bees to sort of stay still while I fitted them all with the cameras. Mm-hmm. And then essentially create like a wide surveillance network with my bees. Kind of like near the end of the second Batman film, The Dark Knight, where every mobile phone has radar in it. Like that, but with little cameras and little microphones on bees. And basically fly them around and you can look for crime. And when you see crime, you converge the bees on the crime. Because, I mean, who's going to stay around to rob a house when there's 1,000 bees trying to sting you?
Well, I tell you who's going to take you on. Me, because I'm going to use my power over bees to create a giant robot bee.
Oh, okay. Now, question: would the bee be in the shape of a robot, or would it have a bee motif?
It would be in the shape of a bee, but it would be giant and robotic. Perhaps with perhaps with the lasers, because the condiment that suits any party. Never mind human misery.
Why lasers? You don't need just shoot bees.
No. Well, laser bees. Lasers in the shape of bees.
Yeah.
So essentially, the bees will be making a giant robot bee which shot bees.
Well, that's the material you've got to work with.
I like to think
you can't control lasers. You can control bees.
I like to think that I've cherried that cake with another cake that's got a cherry on it, with a smaller cake that's also got a cherry on it, almost like a wedding cake of death and destruction. And the cherry atop each is perhaps a laser bee. I think we've covered that topic
I think Laserby has been covered
quite
now.
succinctly now. Do you
Yeah.
know what this morning show needs?
Bring it.
It needs the news in games.
The news in games. Well,
today in Belgium, a man tickled a dog. Everyone was quite shocked until the dog, whose real name is Monopoly Bandwidth the Fourth, said he quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it. Hurrah! Chocolates. Hopscotch protests are taking place all over the British Isles to highlight the disbelief that America doesn't have HP sauce. This report from our roving reporter, Flippant Christshoes. Hello? I spoke to a man. His gob hole moved into a wide position and flapped. Noise came out. I just can't believe America doesn't have HP sauce. I mean, what do they put on bacon? What the holy monkey disco do they smash over sausages? And finally, in Buxton, England, there's an under-5s judo championship. Quite skilled for their age, but no match for a grown adult. So if you feel like chucking a nipper about, admission's only £1. That's today's news in games.
Oh,
You mean video games?
yeah, I was going to say, I liked the news in games. It was good news, but I couldn't work out games.
I think, well, there's tickling. That's a game. The second story highlighted hopscotch protests, which are a rising way of showing you dislike something. And then there was an under-5s judo championship. Which is also a game.
Yeah,
that's
close.
3 punches into your denial face.
Oh, my denial face is covered in bruises. Okay, well,
ginger fluff.
I'm just going to dial it back a little bit. The news in games was good. We'll move on. The bee thing actually blends quite nicely, because recently in the video game Tekken Revolution, they held an online poll to decide what the next character might be. B. There we go. That wasn't even intentional.
You said B.
B. There were many options. For example, A. We had a sexy female Tekken Force person.
What was the second letter option?
The second one was C.
Oh, bastard!
Oh, you see, you can't. But you got to be careful.
A sea of bees. That's what I will call my mastery of the flying fat insect.
The BC. Okay, so there was sexy Tekken Force chick. There was vampire girl. There was a female version of Paul Phoenix on the list.
Yeah.
Paul Phoenix being the man with the skyscraper hair. Mm-hmm. We also had a guy called Shin who's been in the Tekken movies, who's just a kind of a kid, but he's got a devil arm. And they were kind of, they were okay. There were some interesting ideas. But they also had some completely batshit crazy ideas. For starters, number one, old man. Just an old man. He's not a kung fu master. He's not kind of possessed by an evil spirit. He's just a run-of-the-mill old man.
Perhaps he'll talk to you about the war or the way. Yeah,
special move. Bore to
sleep. Just walk up to you and go like, "Let me tell you, it was a struggle when we had rations. I remember when all this was woods and open fields, and you're like, well, to go on training, but can't be rude.
Your life bar goes out, you just crumple on the spot.
Yeah. I know you like eggs, but in my day, we had to draw them, cut them out with paper, and pretend they tasted like things.
So we had Old Man, which could have been cool. We also had, it was a character that was going to be a giant praying mantis. Mm-hmm. A praying mantis in the shape of a man. Or a giant praying mantis that had praying mantis fighting moves. Now, I've seen a lot of fighting games that have kind of mantis-style ninjas, but to see an actual giant insect, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, do you think his finishing move would be to pull the head off and mate with it?
I'd love it if it was just a play on the term praying mantis, and you get near him, and perhaps he'd just sit cross-legged and put his hands together and go, Chapter Bob, Book of Bob, Chapter Orange. Genevieve walked into turned licorice into monkeys, and lo, God looked down upon the earth and said, "Cornflakes for everyone." I just do sort of Bible quotes.
That works.
That's one of my favourite Bible quotes, obviously.
Cornflakes for everyone.
Well, turning licorice into monkeys. I mean, honestly.
I mean, with religion like that, it's a miracle they're atheists.
There are life lessons in that for all of us. My week has been veritable licorice. I don't really fancy it. It's all right, but I don't particularly fancy it. But I struggle at times to turn that into monkeys because they're running around the living room and don't touch that, you'll break it. No, I haven't got any bananas. You're wearing my clothes. So yeah, turning licorice into monkeys is a life lesson for all of us.
That's a good life lesson.
I'd like to see them do maybe a tramp on a park bench wearing corduroy flares that he got out of a bin in 1970, and perhaps he's soiled himself and he's looking quite grim.
Maybe he's holding a bottle in a brown paper bag.
He can pull things out of his beard. Perhaps the Higgs boson.
Yeah. Well, one of his special attacks could be deadly halitosis breath. Just hold them up and breathe on someone.
There'd be lots of. At first, you'd think those corduroy flares were kind of, I don't know, a kind of russet colour, maybe with kind of sparkly yellow flecks, and then you'd realise what they were. And that he'd get you, and one of his moves would be to smash you into the front of his pants when you realise exactly what that colour was.
Oh.
And perhaps he could pick up his park bench, or perhaps pull the park bench from his mighty beard and smash you across the screen with it. Perhaps with some sort of champion-like cry.
Something along the lines of "Give me a beer."
There's no vestibules in these Pringles.
Basically, we've just invented the video game version of Father Jack from Father Ted, haven't we?
I like to think it's better than that.
I'd play that.
Of course you would.
But the last character I'd like to bring up that was a choice that didn't win, and it should have won, was the character who was known as Salmon. And Salmon is exactly what you'd think. Salmon was going to be a big fish. A big fish, and apparently if you were going to hit I believe it's the punch buttons, he would flop around on the floor. And if you hit the kick buttons, he would fire eggs at your opponent. Now, I can see why they wouldn't want to put a character like that into a normal mainline Tekken game, because it is a little bit off the wall. But because Tekken Revolution is a kind of free-to-play, side story, doesn't fit into any continuity, it's just there for fun, I thought that could have been really, really good. And it didn't even get a look at. I think the winner was Sexy Female Vampire, which frankly it made me sad.
There's a shock.
Yeah, there's an internet popularity vote, and Hot Chick wins. Well, now, see, when we were talking about bees earlier, why not have a character in Tekken that was a cloud of bees?
It could only be something else that's made of bees. Perhaps some sort of
like a horse,
kitchen blender made of bees. Or, I don't know, big pair of shoes.
A divan, maybe.
A divan. A caravan made of bees. And then the door opens and a man made of bees walks out and pulls out a barbecue made of bees, throws some...
He has himself a BBQ.
I know, I just stumbled over that. I missed my own joke. I was going to further that madness by keeping going with it, but you put the exclamation point on it, and you were right to do so because I missed it.
You missed your joke. You missed your cue, and you are now fired. Be fired.
Be gone with you.
Be
quiet.
Oh, behave.
Oh, you're so waspish. Oh, no. That's not the same thing.
That's not bees.
Are you a bee? Do you have trouble with your weight? Are people looking at you as if you're a little bit chunky? Try the wasp diet.
I used to be a bee, and now my waist is really tiny, and I have very womanly hips, and I can sting all the men.
So if you're a bee and you're having trouble with your weight, perhaps you're feeling quite self-conscious, try the wasp diet. call 19356753-254-9627-3612. Our operators are standing by.
From JML.
From JML, do you like bees? Do you like barbecues? Try BBQ.
The only barbecue that cooks with the power of bees.
And you can't get your food straight away. You have to queue up for it. BBQ. Or BBQQ.
Oh, God.
Heaven help me, I'm being remixed. Wait for the drop. Boom.
We need to stop because my brain's forcing its way out the back of my head.
Okay. Have a nice day, people of America and Narnia and places like Portugal and Australia, land of the spiders.
But not New Zealand.
Elias,
I apologise to anyone from New Zealand that might be listening. I didn't mean to slight your entire nation. I did, but I didn't mean to.
I nearly bought some Febreze, which was New Zealand flavoured yesterday.
Ah. Do you have bees? Do they smell a bit? Try new Febreze for bees.
For bees.
For bees.
There's something there.
We'll get next time. We'll get there. Thank you all for listening to Breakfastnauts because we really need to stop talking now.
Do you want bees? Send them to New Zealand. Lord of the Rings, the Bee Edition. Come to me, Bee Frodo.
The One Ring of bees.
Take it to the bee volcano. We've really rinsed this.
We've mined this for all possible humour, and it's just scraping the bottom of the bee barrel. Thank you everyone for listening to Breakfastnauts. We've made it's been a time, and if you've got any questions you'd like answered on Breakfastnauts, feel free to drop them in the comments of the Polygon Daily in question. We'll be glad to talk any kind of bollocks you want us to, or if you want to come on and join and put a question to us live, by all means, please request that, and we will do that as well. Hopefully, Shaun will be back next week. Thank you very much, CJ, for joining me today.
Thanks. It's been great.
Yeah, and we'll see you all next time.
Goodbye,
Bye, everyone.
Internet. Goodbye, the superhighway.